Hello. So, this message is going to find you, honestly, when you are truly ready to hear what the tarot cards have to say today. And I have a feeling that it is something quite special that they have to share with everyone. And that one right there is the one we are going to start with. Okay. So, we have Kuan Yin. Kuan Yin is very much about compassion and forgiveness. And while a lot of the time it is talking about compassion for others, forgiving others just so that you can evolve in your healing, but I find that most of the time when it comes out, there's some area where you are having trouble finding or feeling compassion for yourself and forgiving yourself. So this card usually ties in with the past, your actions, or the actions of others. So, and I feel like this one right here is one that we need to take. And we have nurturing universe. Okay. And this makes complete sense. Wherever there's spirals, there's growth, expansion, that sort of thing. So this is talking about in your personal growth, how important compassion and forgiveness for yourself is. But with that nurturing universe card coming out, they are talking about that kind of deep level care, beyond just doing your hair every day and all of those things, or your basic spiritual or personal growth practices. The universe is asking you to go a little deeper because there's something about an area where you're having trouble, either, I don't want to say loving yourself, but giving yourself that truly deep care and consideration that you would so freely and generously give to another person, right? And that is likely one of the most important things that we can learn in our lifetime. And that's the card right there. I feel it. Okay, and we have the friendship card. Now that's interesting. So I'm going to say with this, because it has all these pinks, a lot of the time that's representing, it's the alternate color to the heart chakra. So, they are talking about this heart-based level energy that is being held and stored in here. So with that friendship card coming up, in one way, I do feel like when they're talking about that compassion for yourself and forgiving yourself for your past actions, it's kind of like, treating yourself like your own best friend, or treating yourself the way you do all the other people who are in your life. And another part of this message for some of you definitely is going to be that there's an issue around a friendship, or maybe a pattern that's been happening in particular relationships with, in that there's some sort of, I wouldn't say it's full on betrayal, but you feel like, what the heck happened in this relationship? And it's happening over and over. And there's something that needs your time, attention, and focus, because it needs clearing and it needs healing. Okay, so let's see what else they have to say. That's the one right there. Okay, and we have the Rebirth card. So with the Rebirth card coming out, I know it's hard to see on camera, but this looks like, it's almost like an sonogram. And we are looking at the inside of a uterus, and this is a little fetus growing inside there. And this says that some alone time, away time, kind of like taking a time out is what the universe is talking about. And giving yourself that kind of protective space, if you want to put it that way, for you to be able to really kind of go into these softer spots that are within you that need that assessment, and to be brought into the light and to be brought into healing. And sometimes we do need to take a break from the world to kind of get our house back in order, because it seems like these kind of things can start to snowball on us. We have an issue, come up in a relationship with one person, and then it comes up in a different way with another person, and it carries on. And the universe is saying, like, slow your roll here. Let's just come back into center, come back into ourselves, and come back into this protective space where you feel that sort of deep safety within you that you're needing, because there is a need for safety. But the bigger message with that card is that it is about coming back out into the world, being reborn. It's like a rebirth in a way, where you're much stronger, healthier, and balanced. Oh my goodness, they are really on it today. Okay, we have more spirals, and this one is called Healing with Intention. And so along with this main spiral, we have thousands of spirals in this fractal, creating this bigger one. So this is truly about healing. Now, with the Healing with Intention card, this one can go into both areas, physical and mental, emotional, spiritual. And so that's kind of telling me that the stresses or what you've been carrying from previous incidences has been kind of lodged energetically. And when that happens and it's not getting the healing that it needs, it can begin to start to affect us physically, because it's all connected. And so the symptoms of what's going on in here start to show up in the outer body. So it's very important that you get a hold or a grip on it right now. So I want to get out the tarot cards and see what they have to say, because I feel like there's a lot more. And that's okay. I want this one and I want this one right here. So let's see what we have. Oh my goodness. Yep, that makes sense. So we have the Chariot and we have the King of Shells. Okay, now that's interesting. The Chariot is literally about breaking free of your past, and it takes a lot of determination with this card. Like, this is one of the determination cards, but it does say that you have the strength to do that. But it's like, from what has already come out in the cards, it's kind of telling me there's been a feeling of like, your wheels are kind of spinning in the mud. It feels like you can't get that traction to move forward. And with that Chariot card coming out, it's saying, do not give up on yourself. Don't give up on having good, healthy, happy, loving relationships with other human beings because of what has gone on in the past. Because this is an issue that can definitely be healed. And you have the ability and the means to be able to persevere through this and truly break free of your past. Now, with this other one, we have the King of Shells. So shells is equal to cups. So it is one of the heart issue cards coming up here. Now, with that card, it talks a lot about being seen and respected and admired in the world around you by others. That's a huge message in that card. So I feel like what they're saying from where you're coming from is a feeling of not really being seen in the world, in your friendships and relationships, not being heard and not feeling respected. And with this card, the big part with this card is that it talks about really coming back into a place of balance and a place of stability and operating from that, okay? But I feel like I have to say, this also is giving me the feeling of those kind of people who come into your world who are going to be more respectful of you, absolutely, but also kind of help to bring you back into balance and bring you that kind of perspective of yourself that you need to help you with that compassion, love, and forgiveness for yourself as well as others. Now, yeah, I have this one card kept sticking to my little tray here, so I feel like this one is a message. So let's see what it says. Oh, we have the Ace of Shells. Okay, so I'm excited because that really backs up what I was saying with the King of Shells. So again, another heart card. The Ace is talking about a new beginning. And I feel like they are talking about a new beginning in your friendships. And this can be absolutely in relationships as well. And it says that you've gone down the path enough. You have enough experience to know that this is what I've had, and this is what I no longer want and accept in my life. And that, you've got your eyes set, you're aimed at what does bring you joy, what does fulfill your heart, and not accepting anything less. And, I always think of the channel Crappy Childhood Fairy, because she always calls it crap fitting. And a lot of us tend to have that way of just kind of crap fitting bad situations into our life and making do with crumbs. And this is saying no more crap fitting, no more crumbs. It's the real deal. And these are real relationships that, feed your heart and soul spiritually. And I feel like, you know what? I'm going to grab out, I've got 2 dice. And so I'm just going to grab them out and see what we've got here. Okay, so we have Taurus and we have South Node. Okay, so South Node represents our past. Now this can be our direct, immediate past and past lives. Okay, so I feel like part of what they're talking about is a connection coming in here that gives you that feeling of kinship, friendship, like, do I know you? That sort of feeling, how you can meet somebody and you just it feels so familiar. So I feel like that's that soul family coming in that they're talking about here with the South Node, but also saying that you've learned the lessons from the past, which is directly what the Ace of Shells card was speaking of. And then we have Taurus. Now, so I'm not saying they're going to be a Taurus, but they're going to have Taurus-like qualities. So Taurus is ruled by Venus. Taurus is very much about security. So in astrological terms, it's usually about, financial security and being set up in that way. But because this is such a relationship reading, I feel like they're talking about this person who comes in and gives you that kind of feeling of feeling secure, like knowing they're a person that you can share your deepest heart with, and it's safe to do that, and that they do have your back, and that they will be here for you, just like you would always be there for them, and, be their loving support. So there's this really beautiful balance. And because it has Venus, Taurus being ruled by Venus, I feel like, this is a deeply loving person or relationship coming in here. And I do have to say, because it's the bull, right, that I'm going to forewarn you now that it feels like this will be a kind of person who is not going to put up with BS. And, when you're like feeling down, they're like, nope, you're going to pick yourself up. We're going to do this. And, don't bother arguing with them, because that's just not going to, it's not going to go by them. They're the bull, right? So I feel like there's another energy that is coming in here. And so I'm going to pick out 2 of these. There's one right here and this one here. And I want you to pick left or right? Okay. All right. So for the left, oh my goodness, we have moose. Moose is all about wisdom. And it's talking about, a, a sincere wisdom that comes, think of the wise woman or the wise old sage in a cave, that it comes through these deep experiences in life. And I feel like that moose energy is talking about you having gained the wisdom and knowledge that you need. But the other thing I need to point out is these massive antlers. And in any animal totem or animal spirit card, when you have antlers, it's talking about your connection to spirit. And I feel like that's really appropriate with this, that you're coming down into this heart center and really gaining a deeper connection, both spiritually and in the physical. Now, if you have chosen the right card, oh my goodness, this one came out the last time I used these cards. I don't know why, but so we have the orca. Okay. All right. Any of these big ocean animals, deeply spiritual. There's a huge connection that comes through that spiritually. But there's also this ability to be able to connect to higher realms. But the important thing is the song, how they communicate to each other is through song, which is sound, which is frequency. And I feel like they're talking about you really coming back into that harmonic vibration within you that is more authentic to your real expression. And through that, it puts out your song that brings in the right kind, your soul family, right? And so I do have to say, when that one comes up, that it's really important that you are listening to music that elevates your mood, your thinking, right? No sad old country tunes like my dog just died and my truck broke down. None of that. We want to go for, Hertz music and high frequency music and music that the lyrics uplift you. Okay. Wow. So what an empowering message that you guys had. If you enjoyed your reading, please do sprinkle some love in the like button. And while you're at it, hit subscribe, because I have many more amazing readings. You know I love you. I'll see you in just a couple days. Take care.